Hey everyone, welcome back to La Cocina de Janet. Today we are making a very delicious Mexican snack or treat. It's called esquites. Let's jump right in. I have two saucepans. The one in the back I already have on medium heat with just water. The one in the front I don't have heating up yet, but it's going to be ready for when I do need it. While my water is coming to a boil on that back burner, I am going to start removing all of the kernels from the cob here. Doesn't take any special technique, just try to get as close as you can without, without getting like actual pieces of the cob. So I just go straight down on four sides and I'm done. Be careful, a lot of these will end up on your floor because they just like to fly everywhere. If you notice that the actual kernels are stuck together, just take your fingers and separate them. Super easy. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to all four cobs that I have today. After just a few minutes, you should have something like this. Beautiful, isn't it? So I definitely love and prefer to use fresh corn just like this. It is a little more time consuming, but the flavor is just more fresh and more authentic. If you do not have any corn for whatever reason, you can definitely use canned corn. Okay, so now I'm going to start warming up this front saucepan. And then I'm going to add some butter. I'm adding half of a stick of butter. And you'll be able to see here that my actual saucepan was a little too hot. So be careful with that. I forget how quickly these heat up because of the material. So I went ahead and turned it down and just started moving my butter because I didn't want it to burn. So move that around until it is mostly melted. And we all know butter and corn just go together. So this is going to be how we start this dish. So just move it, make sure it is melting, and then we're going to go ahead and add all of the corn kernels in here. Remember, I did 4 corn on the cob. Depending on how many people you're feeding, I like to do like 1 cob per person. So this would be perfect for 4 people, maybe even 5. Depending on, how much you actually serve. But so I'm just mixing here and making sure that my butter is at the bottom so it starts melting. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just add a little bit of seasoning. I'm going to add some sea salt, about a tablespoon. And then I'm going to add some pepper. And this is going to be to taste. The salt is going to be to taste too. Start with maybe half a tablespoon. Move a little up once you have the actual water. You can taste it. Once you pour the water in there, taste it. And if you feel like it's missing a little salt, work your way up to a tablespoon. I'm just incorporating the salt and the pepper. Nothing fancy. By this time, the butter is just about fully melted. And you can see my water in the back is coming to a boil. So that's going to be ready to pour into the corn here shortly. This is such a delicious snack or treat, especially now that we're dealing with the coronavirus and you don't have the elotero man, cruising down the way selling these. You can make them at home. So you're welcome. I'm adding enough water here to cover the corn. I don't want to have tons of liquid. It's not necessary. Just enough so that once this starts coming to a boil, then your corn will still be nice and covered. You can see here the ratio. So we are going to add the next very crucial and important ingredient. Traditionally, you would use epazote, which is so difficult to find, but which I couldn't find myself. So I'm adding a handful of cilantro. Provides a great flavor similar to epazote, and cilantro is just so much easier to get your hands on. So add a nice handful of cilantro. We are going to let this go for about 15 minutes. And in the meantime, I'm getting my toppings ready. I've got mayo. I've got butter. I've got Cotija cheese, which is a Mexican Parmesan cheese. I have a little bit of cilantro. And then Your seasonings, honestly, it's whatever you love and like. I have Tajin, I have some Chipotle chili powder, some regular chili powder, and some Cayanne if you want a bit more heat. But keep in mind, you can sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder in your cup, whatever type of flavors you love, go to town, make it your own. This is what we look like about 15 minutes at a medium heat, so it was boiling for a good while. Feel free to taste one of these kernels and just make sure that they're cooked. If they're not, if it's still a little too hard and crunchy, leave it in for another 5 minutes and you should be good to go. And this is what we look like. Now it's time to assemble. I'm using one of these small cups, mostly for presentation. Any other day I would have put this in a bowl and just tossed everything in there, mixed it, and been done. But I wanted to look pretty for you guys. So I'm starting with, this is a teaspoon of everything. So about a teaspoon of mayo. I did melt the butter a little bit just to make it easier. A teaspoon of butter, and then a teaspoon of the Cotija cheese. You can add more cheese, less cheese, whatever you like. And just a sprinkle of Tajin. The Tajin gives it a really good flavor, and it's limey already, so that just goes well together. Now I'm going to scoop up enough corn to almost fill my cup. Now keep in mind, if you want to remove the cilantro from your little pot, feel free to do that. I love cilantro. It doesn't bother me that there may be 1 or 2 little cooked pieces in there, but if you want to just not have that, then remove the cilantro or remove the corn from the pot, make it easier. Now you have the choice here with the corn in the cup to add a little more of the broth and the juice. I like mine juicy, but not overly juicy. But you can add more if you like. We're going to do the same toppings on top. I've got mayo, butter. We're going to go a little extra on this top layer of Cotija cheese. So yum. Perfect. Now, seasonings. Like I said, you could add whatever you like. I like to add just a little bit of Tajin. Take it easy on the Tajin because it's super limey and salty. So take it easy on that. And then I added some chili powder. I like mine spicy, so I added a good amount of cayenne and then a little bit of cilantro. And your esquite, corn in a cup, is ready. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, my mouth is watering. It's so good. And that's it. Authentic, traditional, homemade. You can't beat homemade anything. So you are good to go. Like I said, if you want a little more mayo, feel free. A little more butter, add some more. This is just, the basics, how it goes assembled. Mix it in and take a couple of bites. Yum. You can even add fresh lime juice at this point. I skipped the lime juice because that Tajin is pretty limey and that was plenty for me. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this recipe. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments below if you are going to try it, how you loved it, and I will see you in the next recipe. Bye.